6 lucky numbers to hit the jackpot on July 27th, 29th, and 31st, 2025. Buddhist teachings. Hello, dear friend. Take just a moment. Close your eyes if you'd like. Inhale gently and exhale slowly. Let go of the rush. Feel yourself arriving here, calm, grounded, and open. Now, imagine this. What if, hidden in plain sight, the universe was speaking to you? Not through noise or chaos, but through simple signs, numbers that show up again and again, like whispers from the deeper flow of life. As we move through these special dates in late July 2025, the 27th, the 29th, and the 31st, I invite you to tune into something deeper. Because sometimes the luck we seek isn't just about chance, it's about alignment between our energy, our intentions, and the timeless truths found in ancient wisdom. In today's video, we'll explore 6 powerful numbers. They're not only lucky, they carry deep spiritual meaning rooted in Buddhist teachings. They remind us that prosperity isn't only about money, it's about clarity, inner peace, and living a life that feels true. Maybe you're hoping for a financial breakthrough, or maybe you're simply looking for a sign, a little clarity, a sense of connection in this fast-moving world. Either way, you're in the right place. Here at The Journey of Wisdom, we'll uncover the deeper symbolism behind these numbers and how they can guide you to a life that's not just richer in your bank account, but in your heart. So, are you ready to discover not just lucky numbers, but the wisdom behind them? Let's begin this journey together. 1. The number 5, balance and freedom. The number 5, often seen as simple or ordinary, actually carries profound meaning within Buddhist wisdom and in the natural world around us. It speaks to a life in harmony, a life where balance isn't something we chase, but something we return to. In Buddhist teachings, the number 5 reflects both the structure of the universe and the moral compass of our actions. It represents the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, the essential building blocks not just of the physical world, but of our inner stability. These elements are not abstract. They live in us in the way we breathe, move, respond, and heal. Just as our body needs these elements to survive, our spirit needs direction. That's where the 5 precepts come in, gentle reminders to live with compassion, to avoid harm, to speak truthfully, and to protect the clarity of our minds and hearts. These are not strict rules, but gentle signposts in a noisy world. When life pulls us in different directions, the number 5 invites us to pause and recenter. It teaches us that freedom is not the absence of responsibility, it is the presence of balance. In a world where we're constantly multitasking, chasing deadlines, and stretching ourselves thin, the energy of 5 offers a different kind of success, the success of living in alignment with who we are. Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life, the Buddha once said, a reminder that our inner well-being is the foundation of outer prosperity. So how do we bring the number 5 to life in our modern day? Start your mornings with 5 intentional breaths, allowing each one to anchor you in a different element. Write the number 5 where you can see it, not as superstition, but as a symbol of grounded awareness. Affirm to yourself, I am balanced in body, mind, and spirit, especially on days when things feel overwhelming. And on the July 27th, 29th, and 31st, 2025 of each month, try this simple ritual. Write down 5 things you're ready to let go of, whether it's fear, regret, or unnecessary pressure, and then write 5 blessings you wish to invite in. Let this practice be your gentle rebellion against chaos. As Lao Tzu said, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. In the same way, When we embrace the power of balance, we discover that real freedom is not in running faster, but in learning how to walk with purpose, peace, and presence. 2. The number 7, align and awaken. The number 7 holds deep spiritual meaning across many cultures and traditions. 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 days in a week, 7 wonders of the world. But in Buddhism, it carries a special message of awakening and alignment. After attaining enlightenment, the Buddha is said to have taken 7 steps, and with each one, a lotus bloomed beneath his feet, a powerful sign that every step we take with awareness can lead to transformation. Now, think about this. In a world full of distractions and noise, when was the last time you truly felt aligned with your purpose, your energy, and your peace? 7 calls us to reconnect with that clarity. Take a moment each morning to close your eyes and say the word 7 softly to yourself. Let it guide your breath and calm your thoughts. Picture a golden light flowing through you, helping you feel grounded, focused, and alive. Write the number 7 on a piece of paper and carry it with you, not because it's magic, but because it's a symbol of mindfulness and intention. Before bed, pause to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. This small act rewires your mind toward peace and presence. One of our viewers, Susan from Ohio, shared how she started carrying the number 7 with her after watching our last video. She wrote it on a sticky note and kept it in her wallet. Just days later, she got news of a financial blessing she wasn't expecting. A business opportunity that had been stalled for months suddenly came through. Was it the number? Maybe. But more likely, it was Susan's shift in energy and mindset that opened the door. When you feel aligned, your actions follow a different rhythm, one that flows instead of forcing. So let me ask you, what's one area of your life right now that feels out of sync? And what would it feel like to bring it back into alignment, not through effort, but through awareness? The lesson of the number 7 is simple but powerful. Alignment brings abundance, not just in money, but in meaning, clarity, and peace of heart. Let 7 be more than a number. Let it be your gentle reminder to slow down, breathe deeper, and walk forward with purpose. 3. Number 40. 3. Transform and grow. Let's take a closer look at the number 43, because this number is more than just digits. It holds powerful energy for personal transformation. You see, the number 4 in many traditions symbolizes stability, like the 4 legs of a table or the 4 directions that give us grounding. It's the solid foundation we all need. On the other hand, the number 3 is linked to creativity, expression, and movement. It's that spark inside you that wants to grow, explore, and evolve. When you bring these 2 together, 4 and 3, you get 43, a symbol of transformation through stability and inspired action. It's a message telling you that real change comes when you're grounded enough to move forward with courage. Each morning this week, I invite you to close your eyes and picture a golden bridge stretching out in front of you. Say the words 43 softly, and let that bridge represent your journey from where you are now to where your heart wants to be. You can even write the number 43 on a note and place it somewhere you'll see it, on your mirror, your phone case, or even inside your wallet, as a gentle reminder that you are in a season of change. Say to yourself, I am ready for transformation, not because things are broken, but because you are growing. And sometime this week, maybe on the 27th, 29th, or 31st, take a quiet moment to write down 3 things you want to change in your life. They can be small or big, emotional or practical. As you write, repeat 43 like a mantra, and visualize that golden bridge carrying you across. What would it look like to finally take that next step you've been putting off? How would it feel to release the fear that's been holding you back? As the Buddha said, To live is to change, and to be perfect is to have changed often. So let this number be your invitation to embrace the uncertainty, step into growth, and trust that something new and beautiful is waiting on the other side. If you've made it this far, you're already aligning yourself with the energy of abundance through these powerful Buddhist insights and lucky numbers. Comment below with lucky path to affirm your intention to welcome prosperity into your life. Don't click away just yet. There's still more wisdom ahead that could make all the difference on July 27th, 29th, and 31st, 2025. Stay until the end and discover how these teachings can guide you to your jackpot moment. 4. The number 20. 2. Build your dreams. Let's talk about the number 22, often called the Master Builder in numerology, a number that blends big dreams with the grounded steps it takes to make them real. Unlike numbers that represent pure vision or emotion, 22 is the rare energy that understands that success is not just about dreaming, but doing, and doing consistently. In Buddhist thought, this number reflects the qualities of an enlightened being: wisdom that sees clearly, patience that endures the journey, and deep dedication to walking the path, even when it's hard. Just as a temple is built stone by stone, your future is created by small, deliberate actions taken each day. Ask yourself, are you rushing toward results, or are you truly laying the foundation your dreams deserve? Each morning, take a moment to see yourself building your vision brick by brick, grounded and calm, repeating softly to yourself, 22. Try writing down 22 small actions, even the tiniest steps, that can bring your goal closer. Keep them somewhere visible and cross them off, not with pressure, but with pride. On the 22nd of each month, breathe deeply 22 times and reflect on the progress you've made. What am I building today that my future self will thank me for? This question can guide your priorities in a world that often values speed over depth. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Smile, breathe, and go slowly." In this fast-paced world, 22 reminds us that great things are not rushed. They are built with love, with care, and with commitment. So if you're holding a dream in your heart, now is the time to ground it, not someday, today. Let 22 be the rhythm of your intention, the energy of your discipline, and the quiet power behind everything you create. 5. The number 38, infinite harmony. The number 38 holds a special kind of energy, one that gently reminds us that when we live in balance, with clear intention, our potential becomes limitless. The number 3, often associated with body, mind, and spirit, encourages us to stay centered in who we are, while the number 8, turned on its side, becomes the symbol for infinity, a sign that there's no ceiling to what we can achieve when we live with awareness. Together, 38 becomes a message. When your inner world is in harmony, your outer life begins to align in powerful ways. Try starting your mornings this week by quietly saying 38 as you picture a stream of light flowing through your body, not as something mystical, but as a way to check in with yourself and invite clarity. Write down 3 goals that really matter to you, not things that impress others, but things that truly light you up. Then, beneath each one, jot down 8 simple steps you can take. They don't have to be dramatic, just real. This is how we turn dreams into daily movement. One of our listeners, David from Colorado, shared how, after hearing about the number 38, he wrote down 3 goals and took action on just 1 step per day. Within a month, he'd landed a freelance project he'd been too hesitant to apply for, rebuilt trust with an old friend, and felt more at peace than he had in years. Was it magic? No, it was mindful momentum. So ask yourself, what parts of your life are calling out for more balance? Where have you been waiting for the perfect time instead of taking the next step? As the Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. And when our thoughts are grounded in purpose, the world opens. Let the number 38 be your reminder that peace and progress are not opposites, they are partners. Harmony isn't found by doing more, but by doing what matters most, and doing it with care. 6. The number 60, 6, mastery and abundance. Let's explore the deeper meaning of the number 66, a number that carries both spiritual power and practical guidance. In Buddhist tradition, the number 6 represents the 6 perfections: generosity, ethics, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom, qualities that help us cultivate a life of integrity, compassion, and awareness. When doubled as 66, this energy is amplified, reminding you that true abundance is not just about what you have, but about who you are becoming. This number encourages you to practice mastery not in perfectionism, but in presence, in showing up for your values day by day. One listener, Emily from Seattle, shared that after learning about the meaning of 66, she committed to practicing one of the 6 virtues each week and started journaling 6 things she was grateful for each evening. She said that within a month, not only did she land a new job, but she felt calmer, clearer, and more connected to herself. Could a number really do that? Maybe not on its own, but paired with intention, it becomes a tool for transformation. So how can you welcome the energy of 66 into your life? Try whispering 66 during sunset meditation when the day naturally invites stillness. Write the number down and place it under your pillow as a symbol of restful alignment. On powerful days like July 27th, 29th, or 31st, write down 6 things you're grateful for and 6 goals you're moving toward. Ask yourself, what would it look like to live each day with the mindset that you are already abundant? As the Buddha taught, a disciplined mind brings happiness. 66 is your invitation to become the master of your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately, your life. Let it guide you toward the kind of prosperity that doesn't just show up in your bank account, but radiates from your heart. Tuning into this message means you're ready to receive not just luck, but clarity and purpose. Type "Awakened Fortune" in the comments to show you're open to the blessings that July 27th, 29th, and 31st may bring. Stay with us, we'll share the final insights that could shift your destiny. Charity, the secret to keeping money and blessings. There's a beautiful yet often overlooked paradox in life. The more we give, the more we seem to have. Not just in our wallets, but in our hearts, in our peace of mind, and in the flow of blessings that quietly follow us through life. To many, the idea of giving, especially through charity, feels like subtraction. If I give away my money, my time, or my energy, we think, then I have less for myself. But life doesn't always follow simple math. In fact, when it comes to the deeper rhythms of the universe and the teachings of Buddhism, giving isn't subtraction, it's multiplication. According to the law of karma, every generous act we do plants a seed, and just like a farmer who patiently tends to the soil, what we give out with pure intention returns to us often in ways we don't expect. We may receive support when we need it most. Opportunities may show up when we least deserve them. And slowly, our lives begin to feel more abundant, not just in money, but in meaning. Charity, in this light, isn't just about helping others. It's a spiritual tool, a quiet key to unlocking lasting abundance, inner peace, and the kind of good fortune that can't be stolen, spent, or lost. So today, let's look deeper into why giving is actually the most powerful way of keeping money, keeping blessings, and most importantly, keeping a heart that knows peace. Number 1. charity is sowing seeds of blessings. Charity is not just about giving away money, it's about planting something far deeper, the seeds of future blessings. In Buddhist thought, every generous act, no matter how small, is a karmic seed planted in the field of life. When you offer your time to help a struggling neighbor, when you donate to someone in need without expecting anything in return, or even when you lend a compassionate ear to a friend going through hardship, those moments are not lost. They are quietly recorded in the unseen account book of the universe. As the Dhammapada teaches, if you do good, nothing can ever be lost. It's similar to the work of a farmer. He doesn't sow rice today and expect to harvest it tomorrow. Instead, he trusts in the process. He prepares the soil, plants the seeds, waters them patiently, and allows nature to take its course. And just as the seasons change, the fruits arrive in due time, not by force, but through the power of natural law. In the same way, when we give sincerely, without show or expectation, we are aligning ourselves with the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, and the results, though sometimes invisible at first, are guaranteed. This is especially relevant in today's fast-paced world, where many people are chasing after quick gains and instant results, often forgetting that the most meaningful rewards in life don't show up on demand. It's easy to feel disheartened when our kindness isn't immediately returned, but spiritual wisdom reminds us that as you sow, so shall you reap. In modern life, when we perform acts of charity, whether it's supporting a local shelter, contributing to a friend's fundraiser, or helping a colleague without any hidden agenda, we're actually creating a kind of spiritual investment account. And the interest it generates comes back in forms we can't always predict. Peace of mind, protection in tough times, unexpected help when we need it most, or even the subtle joy of feeling useful and connected to something larger than ourselves. The Buddha once said, "Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened." This means that our giving doesn't diminish us, it expands us. And over time, those seeds we've planted begin to bloom in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but our families, our children, and even generations beyond us. So if you're someone in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, wondering whether your giving truly matters, or whether the good you're doing is noticed or appreciated, take heart. Don't give just because you want a result. Give because it's who you are becoming. In a world full of uncertainty, the one thing we can control is how we show up for others. And in doing so, we shape the kind of life that is deeply rooted, resilient, and filled with quiet blessings. As the Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said so gently, "The seed of suffering in you may be strong, but don't wait until you have no more suffering before allowing yourself to be happy." In other words, even as we face our own burdens, we still have the power to give, and in that act, we discover a profound kind of healing, not just for the world, but for ourselves. Number 2. Keep money by letting it go properly. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt more anxious about money when you were trying too hard to hold on to it? You're not alone. One of the most common patterns in life is that the more tightly we grip our money, the more fear and stress it seems to generate. It's almost as if clinging to it creates a kind of inner tension, a fear of loss, a fear of not having enough, a fear of the unknown. But here's the truth that many wise people have discovered through experience and that Buddhist teachings have echoed for centuries. You don't keep money by hoarding it. You keep it by using it wisely, with purpose and generosity. Money, like water, flows. And when it flows in the right direction, it nourishes not just others, but also comes back to nourish you in return. Holding on too tightly can create stagnation, while letting it go in the right way can create expansion. Have you ever noticed that people who give sincerely, not out of guilt or show, but out of genuine care, often seem to have more coming their way. They may not always be the richest, but they often attract opportunities, support, and goodwill. Why is that? It's because when you use money to help others, to ease someone's burden, to lift someone's spirit, or to contribute to something meaningful, you're not losing money, you're building trust, planting seeds, and opening invisible doors. As the saying goes, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. In other words, the way we treat our money reflects the way we treat people, and ultimately, the way we treat life. People can sense whether we are generous or just transactional. When we use our resources not just for ourselves, but also for the good of others, we become the kind of person others want to work with, support, and be around. Let's bring it into daily life, in your job, your business, or even in your family. When you're generous with your time, your attention, or your help, even in small ways, do you notice how people respond? They trust you, they open up to you, and over time, those relationships grow stronger. In the world of business, people don't just invest in products, they invest in people, and people naturally gravitate toward those who are kind, fair, and giving. So even when you give money away, perhaps through charity, helping a friend, or contributing to a cause, you're also giving people a reason to believe in you, and often they give back in ways that are more valuable than money. This doesn't mean you should give recklessly or without boundaries. Letting money go properly means using discernment, giving with both heart and wisdom. Ask yourself, is this helping someone grow? Is this lifting someone up? Because when your intention is sincere and the impact is positive, then that act of giving transforms from a transaction into a legacy. You start becoming a person who doesn't just survive with money, but lives with meaning. And that kind of wealth, spiritual, emotional, and communal, is the kind that truly lasts. So here's the lesson I hope you take with you today. Don't fear letting go of money when it's used for good. Learn to release it with purpose, with clarity, and with compassion. Because the more wisely you let it go, the more meaningfully it comes back. In the end, the real secret to keeping money and blessings is to become a person through whom blessings flow, not a dam that holds them, but a channel that shares them. And in doing so, you not only live with less fear, but also with more peace, more connection, and a richer, more generous heart. Number 3. Charity helps cleanse greed, the root of suffering. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that no matter how much you have, it still doesn't feel like enough? That quiet craving for more money, more things, more recognition, it sneaks up on us, doesn't it? That's what Buddhism refers to as greed, one of the 3 poisons, along with anger and ignorance, that slowly but surely eats away at our peace of mind. Greed isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's that subtle dissatisfaction, that belief that happiness is just one more purchase or promotion away. But here's the truth. The more we chase, the more we feel empty, because we're feeding an appetite that never really gets full. So how do we begin to free ourselves from this cycle? The answer lies in the simple yet powerful act of giving. When you practice charity, whether that means offering your money, your time, or even your presence, you're doing more than helping someone else. You're training your heart to let go. As the Buddha taught, let go of attachments and you will find peace. Every time you give with sincerity, you're weakening the grip of greed and strengthening the muscles of compassion and contentment. And with each act of generosity, your heart becomes lighter. You begin to realize that real wealth doesn't come from what you hold on to, but from what you can freely share. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to help someone without expecting anything in return? That joy, that sense of connection, it's real. It's not the rush of buying something new or the thrill of getting ahead. It's deeper. Because at that moment, you're stepping out of the mindset of me and stepping into the reality of we. You're seeing yourself not as separate, but as part of a greater whole. And here's where the transformation happens. The more you give, the less power your desires have over you. You no longer feel ruled by needing to have more. Instead, you start feeling more grateful for what you already have. That's a radical shift in how we live, especially in today's world, where advertising and social pressure constantly tell us that we need more to be happy. But Buddhism gently reminds us that desire is like a cup with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it never fills. By choosing charity, you're choosing to patch that hole. You're choosing to say, I have enough, I am enough, and I can still give. Now let me turn the question to you. In your own life, what are you holding onto so tightly that it might be holding you back? Could it be that by loosening your grip, by opening your hands and your heart, you might actually feel more free? Giving doesn't have to be grand. It can start with a simple gesture, a sincere compliment, a few dollars to someone who truly needs it. The key is to give with intention, not out of guilt or for praise, but as a way to train your mind to be less reactive, more grounded, and more kind. Because the true gift of charity is not just in what it does for others, it's in how it transforms you. So as you go through your day, notice the moments when you can choose generosity over attachment. And remember the words of the Dhammapada, if with a pure mind a person speaks or acts, happiness follows them like a shadow that never leaves. That happiness, that peace, is the kind that money cannot buy, and it begins the moment we start giving from the heart. If this message touched something in your heart, take a moment and comment below. Giving frees me. It's a simple reminder that generosity isn't just an act, it's a path to peace. Just by writing these words, you're planting the seed of letting go and opening the door to real contentment. Number 4. Giving is practicing compassion and gratitude. Have you ever noticed how helping someone else, even in a small way, makes you feel more human, more alive, more connected, more aware of the blessings you already have? That's because true charity does more than support someone in need. It awakens something deeply good within us. When you give, you're not just making someone else's life better, you're also expanding your own heart. You begin to see the world through softer eyes. The truth is, giving is one of the most powerful ways to practice both compassion and gratitude at the same time. It opens a window for you to witness the struggles that others face, struggles that you may have overlooked before, and in doing so, you begin to appreciate the things in your life that once felt ordinary. That roof over your head, that meal on your table, that moment of peace in your day. Suddenly, these things don't feel so small anymore. As the Buddha once said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And charity is a beautiful way to practice compassion not just toward others, but also toward yourself. Because the more you give, the more you realize how much you already have, and how little you actually need to be truly fulfilled. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in comparison, in consumerism, in chasing the next thing. But charity helps pull us out of that mental loop. It shifts our focus from what I lack to what I can offer, from what I want to how I can be of use. And with that shift comes a profound sense of meaning. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, am I only living for myself, or am I contributing to something greater? That's a question worth asking. Because the moment we begin to live for more than just our own comfort, our lives start to feel deeper, richer, and more connected. Giving doesn't require wealth, it requires heart. Whether you offer a meal, a moment, or a listening ear, the act of giving strengthens your ability to empathize, to truly step into someone else's shoes, And that kind of empathy is the foundation of all lasting human connection. There's a well-known quote by Albert Schweitzer that says, "The purpose of human life is to serve, and to show compassion and the will to help others." When you give from that place, not out of guilt, but out of love, you tap into the most meaningful part of what it means to be alive. So how can you make this real in your own life? Start by being present. Look around at the people near you in your neighborhood, your workplace, even your own family, and ask, where is there a need I can meet? It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful acts of charity come in quiet, unseen moments. A kind word, a ride to the doctor, a donation to someone struggling. These things ripple far beyond what we can measure, and with each act, your heart softens, your perspective widens, and gratitude naturally flows in. You stop waiting for the world to give you peace because you realize you're already creating it. That's the beautiful truth. Every time you give, you also receive, not in material return, but in something even more valuable: peace of mind, depth of heart, and a life that feels truly worthwhile. Number 5. Giving in the right way, not just money. When we think about giving, it's easy to assume that the most meaningful form of charity is money. But what if I told you that how we give matters just as much, if not more, than what we give? Giving in the right way is not about the amount, it's about the intention and awareness behind the act. Have you ever received help that felt transactional, forced, or insincere? Maybe someone gave you something but made you feel small in the process. That kind of giving may check a box, but it doesn't carry the spirit of compassion or respect. Real charity, the kind that brings blessings and builds connection, comes from presence, kindness, and the ability to meet people where they are without judgment. As the Buddha taught, a generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things which renew humanity. Giving in the right way means giving with humility, with awareness, and with the goal of uplifting, not just relieving. It's about how you treat the other person in the process, not just what you hand over. Let me tell you about James, a small-town barber in Texas who's been cutting hair for over 30 years. Once a week, on his day off, he sets up a folding chair outside the local shelter and offers free haircuts to anyone who wants one, no questions asked. One day, a young man came, clearly nervous and ashamed. James didn't ask why he was there or what went wrong. He just gave him a seat, smiled, asked about music, and cut his hair like he would for any paying customer. That young man later said it was the first time in months someone treated him like he mattered. James didn't give him money, he gave dignity. And that's the kind of giving that stays with people long after the moment has passed. So let me ask you, when you give, do you stop to notice how you're making the other person feel? Are you present, or are you just crossing something off your list? Right giving, at its core, is mindful giving. It considers timing, tone, and most importantly, the emotional impact. In your daily life, opportunities to give in this way show up all the time. Maybe someone just needs your full attention. Maybe it's taking a few extra minutes to listen to someone without interrupting. Maybe it's choosing words that heal instead of criticize. These things don't cost money, but they require heart. And when done with care, they carry more power than any donation ever could. So the lesson is this: don't underestimate the value of how you give. Whether you're sharing resources, time, or words, give in a way that leaves the other person feeling seen, respected, and empowered. Because in the end, it's not just what we give that creates blessings, it's the love, the care, and the sincerity we give it with that truly lasts. And there you have it, dear friend, 6 powerful numbers, each carrying not just the promise of luck, but the deeper message of alignment, clarity, and compassionate action. Whether you're seeking abundance on July 27th, 29th or 31st, or simply searching for a sign to guide your next step, may these teachings be your quiet light. Remember, prosperity isn't only measured in jackpots, it's found in balance, intention, and the love we share through giving. As you carry these insights forward, may your heart stay open, your path steady, and your fortune aligned with peace. If this message resonated with you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs a little light, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the next teachings that could shift your life in beautiful ways. Until next time, walk gently, live fully, and may wisdom always guide your way.